John Nader. But could I, before
Okay,
we start,
John.
could we just confirm that we'll have the full second round of questions, Madam Chair?
I think we will because we tend to flow these into each other, but I think we will have that time.
Okay, well, we'll just be sure that we do. Thank you, Madam Chair. Minister, thanks for joining us. Just to clarify, on what date did Mr. Housefather inform you of these concerns about Mr. Maroof?
I thank MP Housefather for bringing this individual to our attention. The comments made by this individual are absolutely
Minister,
appalling.
with respect, what was the date?
When this issue was first raised, we immediately asked the department to look into it
and
to confirm the details.
And Minister, with respect, on what date?
Madam Chair, I'm trying to answer the question.
It's a simple question, just a date.
It was on July the 19th or 20th, around there.
July 19th or 20th. So even longer than was originally a full month before your department took any action. I want to go back. You said this.
Well, I wouldn't
Minister,
say that the department didn't take any action. I think that's an unfair characterization, but I'll let you finish your question.
With respect, I do have the floor, Minister. You'd mentioned that this fell through the cracks, and with respect, this fell through a canyon. This isn't something that wasn't glaring with flashing lights that couldn't have been found by Google. So I want to ask you, who specifically in your department has been held accountable for this failure?
I want to assure the honourable member, despite the premise of his question, there was already work underway to get the details of the funding for this organization and to establish the process to terminate both the contract and the project, and that was done. In addition to that, the vetting process that was in place at the time that this project was approved clearly did not work. Obviously, that is clear to us, and our job is to ensure that not only do we terminate this contract and demand that the money be repaid, which is what we've done, but to ensure that this never happens again by putting in place measures, robust, enhanced measures, and better training and vetting to ensure this never happens again. That's why I'm here, to talk about those measures and to
Thank you, Minister. And with respect, it sounds like no one's really been held accountable within your department. I want to move on. According to a media report in the Arabic language website, anashir.com, it says that according to Mr. Maroof, CMAC was actually invited to submit an application. They were encouraged by Heritage Canada. It went so far as to say Heritage Canada dumped money on them. I'd like to know who within your department contacted Mr. Maroof and CMAC to so strongly encourage them to seek out this funding.
At the time that this project was approved, this was in 2021. I was not the minister on the file.
Minister, with respect, you're the minister responsible, so I'm asking you who within the department reached out to CMAC and Mr. Maroof and encouraged them to apply for this funding. Who was it?
The process used to select this organization was clearly unacceptable. And I can tell you, sir, that this vetting process failed.
Okay, Minister, again, I'm asking you a very simple question. Who within the department, and no, you're not, sir. I'm asking you, who within the department sought out Mr. Maroof and CMAC and encouraged them to apply for this funding? Who was it?
I will have to get back to you on that. I'm not sure what you're referring to. You're referring to obviously a media article that you read somewhere, but I'm happy to get back to you on that. It's not something that I've come across.
Thank you, Minister. And Madam Chair, I would like that noted that the Minister will be returning to us with the individual within the Department of Canadian Heritage who sought out CMAC to encourage them to apply for funding. Minister, as you're aware, there's a media report that potentially CRTC is still paying Mr. Maroof funding. Are you aware whether or not CRTC is still providing funding to CMAC and or Mr. Maroof?
Well, my response to your question, which is an important question, is that we are surprised and disappointed by CRTC's decision. Funds should never go to an organization that demonstrates racism and anti-Semitism and xenophobia. And Canadians really expect that this principle applies to all public and private institutions. So that is my response to your question.
Thank you, Mr. Nader. That's it. We now have 17 seconds left. So I'm sorry, we're not going to let the Nader formula apply in this case because the minister must have to leave at 2 o'clock. So